Donald Trump is spiraling out of control late at night on Sunday as the walls are closing in after the release of those 23,000 plus Epstein emails from the Epstein estate. Over the weekend, he was hiding in Florida on the taxpayer dime yet again, and now he confronts a vote in Washington, D.C. taking place this week where the House of Representatives is going to vote to release those Epstein files, and we believe there will be massive defections among the Republican Party. It should also be noted that the MeidasTouch network broke an exclusive this evening from the Epstein survivors. We were the first to publish this video through Aaron Parnas at the network, and it was a powerful video of the Epstein survivors, and they were saying, here's the photo of what I looked like when Epstein sex trafficked me. And they said, there are thousands of us. Release the files and stop covering it up. I'll show you what it looked like when Donald Trump was leaving from Florida. This guy was having a crazy meltdown. Let me show you what went down. Donald Trump started yelling at reporters and saying, will you let me finish? Let me finish. Be quiet. Where are you from? Here, play this clip.
Tell him, will you let me finish by saying, you are the worst. You're with Bloomberg, right? You are the worst. I don't know why they even have you.
Donald Trump then said, stop trying to bring up the Epstein files. You're just trying to distract from our tremendous success. Here, play this clip.
So they're using Jeffrey Epstein as a deflection from the tremendous success that we're having as a party.
So while that was going on at the tarmac there in Florida, Donald Trump sent his Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche to rush and go on Fox and try to spew propaganda. It was not working. Todd Blanche says, at the DOJ, we will be looking to find out if there was anybody involved with the Epstein files and the Epstein list, and we're going to hold them accountable. You mean Donald? I mean, you mean the guy right there? Like, do you think we're that stupid? This is Donald Trump's number 2 at the DOJ, Todd Blanche, who used to be Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorney when Trump was convicted on those 34 felony counts. Blanche is the guy who did that awful interview with Ghislaine where so much seemed to be intentionally covered up. But play this clip of Blanche.
Anyway, and so we're going to continue to find out if there's anybody responsible, anybody that hasn't been held accountable. And if they're out there, we'll find them.
Yeah, I think most Americans would say the fact it has been going on for more than a decade, and it seems like nobody's left to prosecute or bring charges against. You can't seem to find evidence is what's concerning to people, and more transparency the better. So thank you.
Here's Donald Trump on that tarmac one more time, and he's like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not talking about the Epstein because it's just being used to stop us talking about all of our achievements. Here, play this clip.
They would like to talk.
Mr. President, Representative Massey says he's concerned that the Epstein probe you are calling for could be a smokescreen to block the release of more files. Is that the case?
Well, I don't want to talk about it because fake news like you're a terrible reporter, and fake news like you, they just keep bringing that up to deflect from the tremendous success of the Trump administration. So a guy like Massey, his poll numbers are showing he's at 6% approval rating right now. And we call him Rand Paul Jr. because he never votes for the Republican Party. So they're using Jeffrey Epstein as a deflection from the tremendous success that we're having as a party.
And here's where Donald Trump starts to attack Marjorie Taylor Greene again. And he's like, nobody cares about her. Nobody likes Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's the worst. She's out of MAGA now because she's calling for the release of the Epstein files. Here, play this clip.
Her life could be in danger because of the rhetoric.
Her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her. Okay, what about you?
Are you negotiating?
So now, without further ado, I want to share with you the incredible video that the survivors of Epstein sent us. This brought a tear to me when I was watching this for the first time. This was a MeidasTouch exclusive. Let me play it for you right now. Hat tip Aaron Parnas from the network for being the first to publish this. Here, play this clip.
I suffered so much pain.
So much pain.
So much pain.
I suffered so much pain. I was 14 years old.
I was 16 years old.
I was 16.
17.
14 years old.
This is me.
This was me.
This is me.
When I met Jeffrey Epstein.
This is me when I met Jeffrey Epstein.
There are about 1,000 of us.
It's time to bring the secrets out of the shadows. It's time to shine a light into the darkness.
More from Donald Trump right here. He starts attacking Democrats, and he's like, the Democrats, they lie. They lie. I'm the affordability guy. I'm making everything cheaper. I've made everything cheaper. Here, play this clip.
The prices are coming down. The Democrats like to use the word affordability, but their affordability was terrible. The problem with the Democrats, they lie. They do it so well. They talk about affordability, but I'm the one that's getting the prices down. As an example, they had the highest inflation in the history of our country. I have it down now to a normal level, and it's going down further. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right.
Reporters are asking Donald Trump, so like, what's going on with Venezuela? You know, you put all of these warships off the coast. You're engaged in all of these war crimes. Is that also part of the distraction for the release of the Epstein files? You're just going to bring us into a war to cover up from your spiraling regime right now? No one wants to go to war right now. We literally just want things to be cheaper and more affordable before Thanksgiving, and this Trump regime is making everything worse. So when Trump is asked about, what do you mean you're talking to Venezuela, you're talking to Maduro, what does that mean? And Trump's like, I don't know. Well, you tell me what it means. Here, play this clip.
You said they want to talk. You said Venezuela wants to talk. What does that mean?
Venezuela would like to talk. What does it mean? You tell me. I don't know.
You want to talk to them?
I talk to anybody. I talk to you, right? I talk to anybody. We'll see what happens.
Her life could be in danger.
Okay, again, while that was taking place on the tarmac, you had Trump's deputy AG, Todd Blanche, again, just saying more ridiculous things on state regime media known as Fox. And Blanche is like, you know, nobody wants to make sure that we get to the bottom of what goes down more than Donald Trump and us. We're trying to look at it right now. He goes, the Epstein investigation has gone for over a decade. We want to deal with it the right way. Here, play this clip.
But look, the Epstein files, the Epstein investigation is something that has gone on for over a decade, and there's nobody that wants to make sure that we deal with that more than President Trump, more than Attorney General Bondi, Director Patel, myself, and that's what we're going to do. And so that's when President Trump said that on Friday, that's nothing different than what we're going to do anyway. And so we're going to continue to find out if there's anybody responsible, anybody that hasn't been held accountable, and if they're out there, we'll find them.
Yeah, I think most Americans would say the fact it has been going on for more than a decade, and it seems like nobody's left to prosecute or bring charges against. They can't seem to find evidence is what's concerning to people, and more transparency the better. So thank you.
And there's more here from Blanche. He goes, look, Trump has said the same thing since the campaign. We've got nothing to hide. You're literally hiding the files. We know what you're doing. You're literally hiding the files. Here, play this clip.
Yeah, so I know you can't discuss much about this, but Americans care. They want to know if there's this kingpin pervert that has information and knows the backstory on every relationship with every world leader and American politician, what's left there to be looked at? Because I've heard President Trump say it's all for show, and I've also heard President Trump say, now again, we need to look into him because of his ties to Democrats. In the meantime, he tends to know a lot about President Trump's own personal assistants and people in his own inner circle.
Look, President Trump has said the same thing since the campaign trail about Jeffrey Epstein, which is that he has nothing to hide. And the Department of Justice has never disputed that. And so what we have done, what we have been doing since January 20th, is a thorough investigation a thorough investigation of everything that we have. We issued a memo in July about that, and President Trump directed us on Friday to continue to look at that, which we're happy to do. This Department of Justice has done more than really any administration in recent memory to combat sex trafficking, to combat any kind of abuses against children, against young women. And so there's nothing we have to hide when it comes to that. And so when President Trump tells us to investigate it, we welcome it with open arms, and we'll obviously do that. That's what we've been doing.
More from Donald Trump on the tarmac right here, where he says that Venezuela unloaded their entire prison population into the United States, and he just continues to attack former President Biden over and over again. Play this clip.
So in the case of Venezuela, it's the prison population. Their almost entire prison population was released into the United States. You know what that means? Their prison population was released into the United States, and we're getting it out. We're doing an amazing job. We have a strong border now. We have everything. Our country's doing so well.
And meanwhile, we have a statement that was just released from Mark Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's brother, who was in that email where they were talking about how Jeffrey Epstein was with Bannon, and Mark Epstein asked Jeffrey to go ask Bannon if Donald Trump was still blowing Bubba, or if Putin had the tape or the photo of Trump blowing Bubba. And there were people who were saying, is that referring to oral sex with former President Clinton and Donald Trump? Is that what it's in relation to? And Mark Epstein said, let me be very clear. That was not a reference to Bill Clinton, although he seems to suggest that Bubba refers to somebody else, but not former President Clinton. So that's what the clarification was. Not Clinton. Who is this Bubba that Putin has photos of that they were talking about? Or do these photos exist one way or another? All of this is taking place. We've now confirmed that one of the ways that the Swiss were able to get tariffs removed, they gave Donald Trump golden bars worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they gave him a special Rolex desktop clock. Literally a violation of Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8, the Emoluments Clause, which makes it clear you can't do that. And let me just share with you what Democratic Congressmember Ro Khanna, who along with Thomas Massie pushed through this discharge petition to release the files that will now be voted on this week. Here's what he has to say. Play this clip.
You have said this is about justice, this is about transparency, and yet I want to play something that you said earlier this week. Get your reaction on the other side.
I'm hopeful that we may get 40, 50 Republicans voting with the Democrats. The first time something like that has happened since Donald Trump walked down the escalator. Some people say this could be the first day of him being a lame duck, the day that bill passes.
If this is about justice, what does that have to do with making President Trump a lame duck president?
Well, it's because of what Trump has done. I mean, I wish that Donald Trump could prevent that by actually releasing the files. But if he goes down this lane, where he is actually calling to unendorse people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, where he's threatening every Republican in MAGA, saying that if you support the Khanna bill, you're not on my side, then he is sowing the seeds for his own lame duck presidency. He's out of touch with his own base. Don't ask me, just look at Rasmussen, People's Pundit. All these people who were on his side are now saying, you know, Mr. President, what happened to you? You ran against a corrupt system. You ran for forgotten Americans. You become part of the swamp that you railed against. And again, my hope is that if he listens today, I know you interview him all the time, that he says, okay, I'm going to meet these survivors. I'm going to get behind Massie Khanna's bill. I really think that's the right thing to do, and it's good for him politically.
Well, we will track.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. And thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to add the MeidasTouch podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts for new updates every single day.